afternoon, everyone, and welcome back after lunch. We'll try to keep this session a little sprightly. And I'm the step-in moderator here, I must admit. I mean, I was thrown into this just about an hour ago because Sandeep, my colleague who was supposed to fly in from Delhi, has been, to use the term, indigoed. So his flight was cancelled, and so I've had to jump in. So I'm going to make it as lively as I can, and I'm going to leave it to you, gentlemen, to take the conversation forward. So just to bring you all up to speed, these days, entertainment, advertising, you don't know where it starts and where it ends. They blend into one another. You don't know whether you're watching a product placement or you're watching a complete story of in somebody's life or whatever. You see it on the Meta platform, on Instagram, on Facebook. You see it across various channels. And here I have with me people who have created very unique types of content and pivoted from traditional media into apps that meet the needs of today's generation, if I was to say that. So, Siddharth, I'll probably start with you. Since you've actually done that pivot from a channel into short format originals, and how do you see the audience behavior changing from the traditional viewing to what it is now? And do you think the economics of it justify moving away from television into this kind of digital content?
Thanks. Good afternoon, everybody over here with a great lunch. I feel that, for us at Swastik, this realization for me personally has not been very economics-led. It's actually been there for a while. I've been telling stories for the last 18 years, primarily in the space of Indian history.
Yeah.
And I realized it quite a while back that, the audiences are shifting. There is a requirement that people are coming, and we as storytellers, we are telling the stories to the audience via a broadcaster, and there is a need for us to go directly to the consumer. I really wanted to do that. And I started it quite a few years back as to, we got on the IPs of certain shows that we had made, like a Porous, Chandragupta Maurya. These were shows that we started retaining IPs with the broadcasters for a while. And then we started putting that on our YouTube channel. So we started building our YouTube channel over the last 3-4 years. We are close to now 10 million subscribers put together. And now we moved into the fast space, from what I'm saying right now, because I feel that having a base of going directly to your consumer builds the trust in the brand that you have. And we've been telling these stories with a lot of conviction, love, with a very clear purpose. So it was very important for us to move and go directly to the consumer. And that's how this fast network helps us in extending our reach, going directly to the consumer and going wherever they are. I think that's the journey for us.
And it's not economics right now.
Definitely, economics are very important, and I believe that currently with the shift, because the media is no more exactly the same, it's fragmented, and we need to think about not literally one way of doing things. We need to have various ways of achieving the same objective. I think that's the important thing.
Okay, Nitin, coming to you, because again you come from a brand that was once known for the OTT dramas and television dramas first, and then OTT, and then now you pivoted from that into shorter format, into apps. You have the cutting app, right? Cutting app, right? So, what made you pivot to this format of storytelling?
See, I think, so we've been storytellers, we were once known, we are still known. Kyuki is still, part of the top 2 shows running in the country right now. So I would not say once known, we are still known, and the OG K-dramas come from our house, not Korea. So pivot, I think we've been always trying to do certain new things. 2017, when we came up with Alt Balaji, there were no Netflix, there were no other, platforms with deep pockets, right? We were one of the biggest ones and had the early movers advantage. Of course, the journey went in a different way because of the limited pocket size that we had. So pivot to new areas, and as he mentioned that I think we are, from core, we are storytellers. right? And we need to take our stories to the consumers. So where the consumers are, we need to be present over there. The trend was from TV, people were moving into OTT. We started our own OTT. We also started producing shows for OTTs, right? So we had both, we were like, had legs in both the places. Now, not many people would know, but people have switched to micro dramas. And today we are one of the largest producers of micro dramas in the country. We are producing almost 40 to 50 shows in a month. That's the kind of capacity that we have built. And these 40 to 50 shows, just to give you, my last 25 shows out of the 40 that I've produced are all trending and have hit 10 million plus, watch hours. Because again, if you see micro dramas from story point of view are very core to what we used to tell in 90s, in 2000 and 2010s, right? So that is what is coming back in the vertical space as well. Now, one thing why we moved to YouTube specifically was, when you go to a TV channel or you go to a OTT platform, there are always guardrails and gatekeepers, right? So sometimes you're not able to tell the story you really want to tell because there will be always people who will have to commission it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why we also started our YouTube journey 6 months, 8 months back. As you said, it's also economic. So we, when we were planning to do the YouTube channel, we were very clear that we cannot go in losses. We can't keep investing too much to just build our IPs because if you only depend on YouTube earning, you'll never be profitable because a 10 million view will only end up giving you 5 lakh rupees. That's the fair economics, right? Since I come from brands background, we were very clear that any story that we are developing, our sales team first needs to take that story to the brands, get the brands which are relevant, and give it to the script writer so that it is written in a way that the brand is an integral part of the story writing. It's not a forced fit. So that's what we started doing. We've done 2 shows. Right now, both are ongoing, have decent 2 million views on an average per episode. One is a 60 episoder, one is a 30 episoder.
Right.
Good thing is, from economics point of view, we've covered the entire cost of production through brands sponsorship. YouTube is only generating profit for me. So that's the way we want to move ahead. Tell our stories, but also integrate brands so that they can tell their stories as well through us.
Yeah, we will come back to that in a bit. I just wanted to quickly get Vishal's thing because you have a different format. I mean, when podcasts were just becoming a thing, you had already dived into Pocket FM at that point of time, and into the whole realm of audio fiction. While everybody else was going after YouTube, you were targeting a completely different medium. How has that pivot been for you? How has it worked out for you?
I think in audio entertainment.
Yeah. And also, like, how do you integrate your brand story in there?
Okay, so basically audio entertainment, I think, always had this white space, right? There was music which was there for all this while. Then we had this advent of podcasts, right? Which I think in India is a very audio and video dominated platform. We are not a very audio podcast consuming country still, right? And there was this white space in audio where I don't want to listen to music all the time. I don't want to listen to podcast, but I love stories, right? Inherently, we love stories, right? And I think audio storytelling or audio fiction is not a format that is new to us, right? It is a very familiar format, right? Matlab, if you go back in time, oral mythology has always existed, right? Yeah. Dadi Nani ki kahaniyan, I think we all are very familiar. We have grown up on those, right? Part of our lives. We have told stories to our friends have told stories to us. So audio storytelling is a form that has existed. We have just given it a new platform and a new form. So while there is comfort of knowing the format and familiarity, there is also a curiosity of knowing how it is pivoted in the new form, new era, in that sense. As far as brand integration and all that is concerned, I think there is a lot of questions on the fact that, hey, you're just an audio format, there is no visual, so how do brands become part of it, right? But the thing is that if you look at entertainment and advertising, right? Advertising today is struggling for attention. Entertainment has all the attention in the world, right? And like people in advertising, or if you go to Meta or a Google conference, the first thing that you hear is that attention spans are shrinking. But attention spans are not shrinking. Attention has become selective, right? I'll binge watch a series on Netflix or other platforms without blinking an eye. So attention is there, right? And I think with audio platform, one of the things that happens is that it also fits very seamlessly in people's lives. People are spending like 125 minutes daily on our platforms, right? In US, the number is even higher. It is because we are not appointment viewing, right? We fit in your life. You want to commute with us. You're working, work with us. You are working out, work out with us, right? So we give you that option of making great stories a part of your life whenever you want them to be. And the third thing that I want to highlight is imagination. While our stories are extremely immersive and there is an environment, there is a world that we are taking you on a journey for, the thing is that because you cannot see and we have not put visuals to it, you can still imagine with us, right? So the interaction can be highly participative, so to speak.
Okay. Siddharth, coming to you on the same topic of integrating brands in your stories, how do you do it? Do you do it subtly, or is it like very evident this is a brand story and not a pure play entertainment episode? So where do you draw the line?
Y- for me, it's slightly different than what I've been hearing here. For me, what's been most important is that at Swastik, we've been telling stories of our history. So, of course, there can't be brand fits in the content, right? So, it's not like we can do that. So, we are very clear that our purpose has to be to connect every Indian to their culture and connect the youth in a way and a language that they understand, and go to all the mediums wherever they are, to spread the cultural and historical values of our country. And the most important part of our country is our stories. Our brands and, all these numbers and all trends and everything will go, but our stories of our country will always remain, because I feel our country is defined by our stories. So for us, when we are telling a story, like we've just made a micro drama, 10-minute, called Hamara Vinayak, we've just gone ahead and told a story that we believed in, where it's a modern day conflict, it's a modern day issue where God comes in human form and, he gives you the message of Ganesha and the values that need to be there. So for me, partnerships for brands, I feel that, yes, international brands have issues with cultural policy and, global framework, and it's the same for them for every country in the world. So they hesitate a little bit, is what I hear from my teams, right? But what's important is Indian brands today, they are taking risks, they are bold, they are aggressive, they are wanting to build themselves. So if Indian brands want to really build themselves, I feel you have to be relevant to the culture you belong to. And nothing better than telling in the cultural space of cultural storytelling. So we don't fit in the brands into it and then greenlight a project. We tell the story we want to believe in, and we look at brand as partners and not as sponsors. So once you partner with us, we'll add more value to your brand, because our telling is a lot of purity, it has a lot of thought in it, it has entertainment, of course, but there has to be a message behind it, and that message comes through our texts and our stories. So my way of looking at branding and partnerships is a little different. Of course, it's needed, because the television legacy of ours continues. It's not like we've left television, but in this medium, when we are going directly to the consumer, it's very important that we add value to the brands and look at brands as partners and not as sponsors.
Okay.
I think that's very clearly the way we are approaching it.
Right. At Balaji, how do you?
So for us, we are first entertainment providers and storytellers for sure. But we approach brands in two ways. I have a dedicated sales team. There are two kind of requirements which brand comes up with. One is called AFPs, where they want to create a full-fledged program or a show around them. So those are fully funded by the advertisers, and we keep getting those, when you meet the brand managers and you start speaking to them, you understand what the brand wants. Do you really want to create a show around the whole thing? Then you go on to that track where you start developing a story which is made for the brand. The other way is you have a show which is like, I have 3 shows which are coming in January. Now we figure out what are the brands that can easily fit in. Like I am doing a show which is a urban love story where both the girl and the boy, the lead actor and the actresses, are chefs. Now when they're chefs and they're going to get into there's going to be a romantic drama around it. I know there's going to be a lot of kitchen scenes because they're chefs in a 5-star hotel. Now integrating brands like atta, integrating brands like oil, they are very, very natural because half your setup is in the kitchen. You can even get brands like IKEA to, make the whole kitchen. And then, of course, it's not just in the show, then you also create a 360-degree approach. Like say if IKEA comes on board, you will actually create a video before where you are constructing the whole kitchen with them and you will put it out. You will use your actors to, also promote the brand. So it depends on the kind of deals the brands are doing. So for us, yes, brands are a core part of storytelling because we are very clear that we want to be profitable up, as well from day one, because we need to also justify to all our shareholders who are there, and hence the economics plays very, very important role. And with YouTube, we don't want to wait for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to start generating a lot of income from that. So we want to go in a way where we hedge our risk by getting 70-80% from brands and then put it out for viewers to watch it, love it. And I think our first 2 shows have pretty much given us a direction that our viewers are okay watching brands which are very seamlessly integrated in the story. So we are moving that way forward.
Okay. Vishal, I need to bring in this question on AI because you just launched an AI suite where your creators can use AI to build stuff. But there are risks associated with using AI and creative storytelling like this. How do you see AI influencing your kind of branded content creation?
See, the way we look at AI is like for us, AI is not a tool where we are looking at, okay, we want to deliver more efficiencies, right? We are not looking at how can we do it cheaply or how can we do it fast. That is a byproduct of AI, right? And I think if you just look in the hindsight, speed and higher efficiency is a byproduct of any technology, right? In AI, yes, of course, we are seeing this at a higher scale, right? For us, AI is basically a tool that is helping us fail faster, right? It is a tool that is helping us experiment a lot more, right? Because if you want to do A/B testing, if you want to test tones, if you want to test narrators, we can do it way faster, right? It is helping us test our story arcs a lot better, a lot faster again. And it is also helping us imagine a lot more, right? So we are using AI as an imagination accelerator, to be very honest, right? And I think for brands, when brands come into play, I think the holy grail of marketing has always been personalization, right? Hyper localization is today possible at unprecedented scale because of AI, right? And I think in an audio story format, that can be taken to even more higher notches, right? You can have a narrator that suits you, right? You can have the kind of voice that you like, right? You can have an accent that probably you prefer. Today, a story doesn't have to be contained by geography, right? If the story has worked in India, possibility is that it will also work in Germany, right? But it needs to be adapted, made contextually and culturally relevant. AI is helping us do that a lot better and a lot faster. So I think brands can really leverage this in this sense.
Okay. Siddharth, how much of AI would you see influencing your kind of business model? because you still is it influencing the creative process when it comes to the kind of content that you put out?
Yeah, of course. I think um, it's a revolution, it's a change, it's a tool. We can use as many words as we want, but it's like, when I started, when I made the Mahabharat, the whole journey from the earlier Mahabharat to the one that we were making was a great upgradation on the visual effects quality. It would allow us to imagine something the way we want to imagine and get that to life in a way that audiences have never seen before. So for me personally and everybody at Swastik, I think we are very clear that the purpose of AI is it to be a tool for us to tell the story. It's not the foreground. For us, it's the background. It's not something that we do for, okay, let's just do things fast, because I think from traditional film cameras, when digital came in, things became faster. You could see your work, you could see the screens, you could decide. Earlier, you could not even decide anything. You had to, the whole process is changing, the processes are evolving. So AI definitely evolves the whole process. The whole time taken to reach to the point of how do you want to tell this particular story has shortened, because there is a huge process that we would always follow from the time we start writing, from the time we start visualizing on every department, right? With this technology, what's happening is that, and it's intelligence as well, so it's not just tech, So with that, what happens is the speed at which you work at your mind. So I always believe that it's not like AI is an astrologer and you ask them and they'll give you a solution about your future. That's not going to happen. It will happen, whether you want to do it that way or not. But more importantly, it's about what you want to tell. If you have something in your mind, and there is a tool for you to expedite and get to the best version of you. I think that's where it is for us, and we are using a lot of it, like in our shows for backgrounds, where we're using VFX, we're doing key sequences on AI. So all of it and more. It's like we're building a whole new universe on the back of AI, because I think the whole difference that Indian storytellers and makers have had vis-a-vis global storytellers and makers have had is budgets, is the investments, is the scale that in India we could not even imagine about creating certain things a while back because the market was small. Now with this, what happens is, you can dream it, you can get that to life, but you need to imagine it yourself. You need to be the storyteller behind it. Otherwise, it's just like asking anybody about your future and they'll tell you and you have to believe in it and move ahead. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, and that Balaji, how much of AI is influencing your content creation?
So we have an in-house AI team. We've been using it, and as everyone said, AI is as good as the prompts that you put in, right? It can't replace the human writers, right? So for us also, it's a tool that we are using it to make it some scenes look larger than life. So, and one very important thing which AI has given is when you're writing and you are narrating a story, right? As he said, that you start imagining things. Now with AI being there, with help of it, you can actually visualize it also. So the narration becomes even more interesting if you put visuals around it and if the prompts are good. So if you're using it as a tool, I think it's a very, very effective tool. We should not be scared. Technology is always, will keep advancing. And, people say that AI will take a lot of jobs away. I say people who will take AI not as something as a tool and not learn the latest technology, their jobs are going to get replaced, not people who are learning AI and are becoming, familiar with that tool.
Yeah, this brings me back to, AI is actually probably a great leveler. Anyone can write a great script if they know the right prompts to put in. So that's one aspect of it. The other thing is, and we've been talking a lot about it today, is attention spans. 15 seconds, 8 seconds, 6 seconds, how do you build in that kind of loyalty for your kind of content on your brand? And you need a hook. What's that hook?
See, I think what he said is very right. Attention spans have not become shorter. People have got choices now.
Yeah.
Earlier, there was TV. You had only Indian shows to watch. You had only Indian creators giving you those stories. You were watching them. And you were forced to watch because most of our TVs were TV households. So when a family was watching, everybody was sitting together and watching those shows together. Today, it's become personal. Viewing has become personal because you have smartphones in your hand and you want to watch what is your choice, right? Today, if I want to watch a movie like F1 in theater because I'm a fan of F1 racing, I'm a fan of the hero, I will go to the theater irrespective whether that movie is available on whatever platform. I'll still go to the theater and watch it. If I have to watch something on a large screen at my home, I will watch that show there. Like I wanted to watch Family Man on the big screen, not on my handheld device. I still watched it. I binged it for over 6 hours. My attention span didn't go down because the story was interesting. Now, if you're giving a bad story, if you are not able to, give your audience what they want, you're going to lose your attention. You're going to, because they'll switch. There are so many choices, and they're not just Indian choices. You have the world cinema, world creators right on your fingertips, right on your mobile device. And hence, those choices have actually forced even the Indian storytellers to become more creative, more sharp, and address to the audience that you want to address to. So that's for us also with Balaji, when I have to say, when we were making Kyuki and it was coming after a big gap. There was a big it was the biggest show earlier and we were coming back. We were thinking, how do we bring, what do we bring onto the for viewers to watch it. I think what Ekta thought was absolutely relevant to the audience that she wanted to touch base. They were the urban mass and they were the connected TV audience who had, a new set of audience who are now watching every show on the connected TV, again, right in their living rooms. It was addressing what the women in India today are going through and were able to actually relate to the story that is ongoing. And that's why it has become one of the top shows in less than 3 months of time of airing. So I think relevant stories are going to be always relevant, and you need to just be very, very sharp and focused on what you're telling.
Right. And of course, you have that legacy, which obviously helps. I mean, the instant brand recognition is there. But Siddharth, at Swastik, you probably have a more niche audience, I would say. How do you get in new audiences and how do you keep them there?
When you say niche audiences,
Yeah.
you basically mean people who are interested in watching mythological or
mythology,
cultural
yeah.
stories. Yeah, I feel that, we didn't start this company with the idea of, what's the bottom line. We started this company with this purpose of telling stories. And I personally had no idea about that I would ever get into a space of Indian history. And I would enjoy it so much. So what started with great characters, great worlds, and how do you tell them what kind of music? So it's a expression of what you like to do in your life. It started with that, with Mahabharat. Post that, we got into every story in this space. We've not brought. It's not like we don't tell other stories. We do, but primarily our focus is in this space because we enjoy telling it. There is a great amount of learning values that come through these stories. They are not just, and I don't think that, when people tell me today's youth is not interested in this genre, I personally don't believe it. I believe that our youth has a great amount of curiosity and understanding about their roots. They are wanting to know more and more and more. And they have a great bullshit filter. So within 2-3 seconds, we all scroll through the things that we don't find it relevant to us. That basically means we have a lot of clarity about what we like and what we don't. And so many shows are made. We talk about success metrics. We talk about ratings every day. There's a story of my life that I think would answer this question in a way. When we launched Mahabharat on Star, it didn't really rate. Every other fiction show was doing better than us, and within a month we had half down our numbers. Like if you launch at an X and, after 1 month you see that, oh, you're like, divided by 2, you've come down to half your numbers, right? That basically means from all success metrics, people are not interested in this new Mahabharat that we were making, which was talking to a new generation, you know. So the interest factors in this whole genre became questionable, right? I always believed that it is the Mahabharata story. It needs a stronger foundation. It's not an individual character story. It's a multiple protagonist storyline. If you look at it from a story perspective. Sometime happened, the big guys came in, the main Pandavas, the main story I started, which was a little later. Numbers really rose, I was very happy. It answered my question about, yeah, it works, But it was still not the number one show on the channel. See, for me, it was like, we were much ahead of telecast. So we don't really change tracks, this, that. We don't really do that because it was a limited series. We had to tell it the way we wanted to tell it. Everybody panics in this world, right? There was a lot of panic, lot of discussion. When the Pandavas came in, the story changed. Again, the new young generation came in. It picked up again, but it never became the number one show till the last episode of Mahabharata. A week might be here or there, but I don't find that to be the best thing because it's about consistency at the end of it. So, heart of hearts, you really feel that, possibly what you're saying is true and might be it's true or not true. But the success in this space of storytelling is not the impact, not the reach that you get on day one. I have met people now 12 years, 11 years later. Till date, people come and tell me that this story changed my life. These thoughts made me think differently. My entire philosophy of life has changed because of the stories of Radha Krishna and what I learned from there and what I heard over there. So what I feel is that when you tell a story in this space, it doesn't really create an impact and it doesn't need to. On the day, it's not a live telecast of a film or a match that happens today and it gets over tonight. It is something that accumulates. It's something that creates more and more value. It is something that if you do it well, of course, when you do something, you would love to do it well. Otherwise, why are you doing it? So when you do it with all your heart, it accrues value over a period of time. People start to watch it. I've made Srimad Ramayana as well. And I feel that people will watch it over a period of time whenever they want to watch the Ramayana. So for me, the success metrics over here is not only the numbers. Of course, you tell a story, you want more people to watch it. But it's not about whether it's watched today. It's about how it is consumed over a period of time through impact and the value it creates. So that's the important point.
Right. Vishal, coming back to the point that Nitin had made earlier about what kind of brands would collaborate with your audio storytelling format. So what kind of brand collaborations do you see as a natural fit in the kind of content that you have?
So basically, we are a platform with about 100,000 stories, right? The rate at which we churn out content is a different scale altogether, right? So when we look at brand collaboration or brand integration, right? In an audio story, there are some obvious things that are out, right? Like for example, like when he was saying that I can make an IKEA kitchen, we cannot make an IKEA kitchen, right? Probably we can help you imagine, right, with IKEA, but we cannot make an IKEA kitchen, right? I cannot have a product placement just like that, right? So the brand has to be integrated a lot more in the story. It has to be a part of that story. It has to be more organic. It has to be a part of maybe our characters' aspirations or characters' life story, right? Like for example, when you look at, and again, culturally, you will see that these things will change. Like if I look at BFSI segment, and I say BFSI in US would probably signal confidence, insecurity. In India, it is still an aspirational growth. I want to double my money, is that segment, right? Personal care, how US will perceive it versus how we will perceive it, right? There is a reason why, a dove flourished there and we are still having our dove moments now, right? So it's the cultural differences are there. So in our case, visuals are out, hence the brand needs to be sued in the story and character arcs a lot more.
Okay. So, I mean, it's worked into the storyline in each of these stories, you say. That's how
Yeah, and to be very honest, I also feel that like we are saying brands as culture makers, right? I mean, culture to me is not मेरा logo देख लिया, logo ने culture बन गया. No, culture is something that takes a lot more time. But the beauty of it is that while an ad can come and go, a culture compounds with a given time, right? And the brands who will be successful in this culture war are the brands who know the cultural truth they are becoming a part of. Don't become a part of my show, right? Become a part of the cultural truth that my show is addressing, right? Become a part of the cultural anxiety that you want to solve, right? If you do not have a cultural anxiety, if you do not have a cultural truth, you have no stake in culture.
Okay. We can take a couple of audience questions also. If we just put your hand up, we'll get a mic to you. Yeah.
You all said you are creating content using AI. So do you just use the ready products which are available, or are you also creating small language models with your own content, previous content rather, to feed it to it and to create a better product, whatever comes out of it, get a better output? Or are you just using whatever is available and using that? How exactly, what are you guys doing? Maybe you can speak.
You want to start? See what we are doing, no? That like we are building our country does not have one destination which has stories of India all together. You know, we've called it the Bharat verse. Verse because every verse, every Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharat are verses. They are poetry in our country. You know, so that's why it's called Bharat verse. And we are building a universe of that of our own, right? And in that direction, we are using, you know, so we've designed our characters. We've told stories of, you know, all of them so far. So we've got our own design language, but we don't own the IP. The IP is owned by the broadcaster for certain IPs that they own. So what we are doing is we are designing humanly. Humans are designing the characters. And we are using technology to speeden up the process of execution. You know what I'm trying to say? So that if there is a certain amount of, so there are designers sitting on designing the costumes, but this time they are sketching it on paper and designing it on the machine. It's like how you've built an animation world, you know? So the skill sets are needed, the skill sets are human, because my understanding says that the emotions, you know, will always be generated by the human being.
So basically what you're saying is you provided us image and then put a prompt of whatever you want to say, right?
Yeah.
But you are putting this on a ready model, ready product, OpenGPT or whatever.
You know, it's not like, you know, and if
You're
you...
not changing that.
No, it's, I'll add to it, sorry for a second more. What one needs to do, one size does not fit all. So if you're clear about what you want to do, you will need to go to different platforms in the AI space, whether it's ChatGPT or Perplexity, or you go to any of the ones that are there. There has to be a hybrid mixed model to eventually achieve what you want. So what's most important is for you to have clarity about what you want. So that's how we are doing it. Yeah.
Right.
I think I'll just add to it, to what you're looking for. I think we use a mix. So we do have AI proprietary tools that we have developed, right? And all of this intelligence is basically coming from our listener behavior as to what are the kind of stories, what are the kind of arcs that are liked, in which country responds to what, right? So there are a lot of signals that we get through our apps, and that we are utilizing to build our proprietary AI suits. We have already launched a couple of them which are available to our creator network, and hopefully we'll make it public as well very soon.
Same as with us, we are using existing tools which are already there, and we are using our shows to increase the learning, because especially, you know, when it comes to the lip sync and the dialogue delivery for an AI model, that's the biggest challenge. And that's what we are using our hours of content library which we have for that learning to happen, so that diction becomes even better.
Thank you, Roshan sir, for moderating it very nicely. My name is Himanshu. I was in ADAS, Bangalore, as an R&D engineer. But 5 years back, I started my own company, Himanshu Engineering Services, in Mumbai. So we are doing research and development in AI, IoT, and blockchain for the field of finance, mobility, and energy. So coming to Sir Balaji, you told for the women safety and all, right? But we have seen men are also not safe. So I was trying to understand, is Balaji also looking like what happened to an AI engineer in Bangalore, which he claimed, right? Putting it on YouTube. And then what happened to the Meghalaya story, right? There are many men who are doing suicide. They are struggling. So is Balaji, do you feel working with a woman CEO or like Ekta ma'am, compounds, bring some sort of, I would say, stories which are not man-oriented? Or is this the real market? One question was for you. And another for, I would say, Swastik, for the Swastik team.
I'm Siddharth. I'm Siddharth.
Yeah, but you are under like swastik, no? That
Yeah. We are
mythology. I don't follow much, but I have seen some sort of work. So you have told for the consistency, right? So like Khatu Sham story, that did not happen before when Mahabharat happened, right? But now we see Khatu Sham temples are getting lot of attention, right? So what is your take onto that thing? Mahabharata was done, okay, but when we see the temple Khatu Sham coming on the picture, are you looking to make some sort of stories on Khatu Sham? And the third, I would say the Pocket FM guy, I don't remember the names because I'm brand oriented.
That's okay. I like the Pocket FM guy. It's a good thing to remember.
I really don't go for names. I'm so sorry.
As long as you don't find him a girl, it's fine, you know.
It is ironical because you have named your company after your own name.
Yeah,
So I think you should go for
very
names.
Good, very good. So cultural anxiety, you use this word, right? So I have been seeing there are a lot of directors which I come across, or I would say writers. They want to write stories on bitcoins because we are also working on blockchain, right? So they have told a story based on the temples where the, I would say the idols were getting traded through Bitcoin. So are you open to work on that story? Because I have a director with me, which I met in South India. So I just wanted to know like what kind of culture making, futuristic culture making you are telling, because I'm seeing a lot of claims on AI. I don't know you are from BTech background or not, but you are cultural makers. So for the safety of men and for Khatu Sham's temples and for, I would say, Bitcoin culture.
So we'll start with safety of men.
There are 3 men on the stage who are in danger.
We'll start with safety of men
Yeah.
because I think
But
that's very important.
I think
Yeah,
if
start with
we have
yeah,
time,
it's a-
if we
it's a
have
very
time,
important
please
thing,
answer
right?
all these 3 questions.
Safety of men.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I think it was also safety for panelists. Thanks for interrupting. But jokes apart, see, I think storytelling is, it's not just safety of women or women-based stories alone. We've been telling stories, and safety of be it men, women, or any gender, it is as important, for every human life and animal life. Yeah. So I think safety itself is very, very important. So we tell stories. If they are part of it, can be targeting men, it can be targeting women, it can be targeting children as well, right? So storytelling is always there. So it's not something that we only make women-based stories.
Yeah, and I promise you we will tell the Khatu Sham story. It will be an honor to tell that story, honestly. Because television is a long format medium, it becomes there are so many stories, folklore, shorts, which cannot come in a linear long format medium because it requires 300, 200, the daily requirement is very different. So, I know the story, I've lived it for a while, I know what you're saying, and we'll definitely tell this story. It's just when the time is right, it comes. I think we should
Okay,
shoot
now he's
him.
pitching for me too.
We should take your interview and record this for the future.
Special thanks to, right, that screen. Yeah, we'll also do the Bitcoin story. We'll see which way it has to be done. And yeah, special thanks to you. We'll be there.
In fact, just one point here. One of the very interesting things which is happening, you see the younger generation, the youth, they're becoming very, very God-loving. And, their interests are very different from what they say millennials had, right? They're going for, I've seen Gen Zs attending Krishna Kirtans, and it's like a trend now. So it is what he said is absolutely right, how you make it cooler and you vibe your story with the youth, your stories are going to get successful.
Can I add something to
Yeah.
it, sir?
Yeah.
Um, for us from where we are, I feel that, a lot of people tell me that, you've been doing this for so many years, is there a trend, is there a virality, is there a, thing that you're wanting to do? We've been doing that, telling stories of India for more than like close to 15 years now. So at Swastik, we're not chasing any trend, we're not chasing any virality. Otherwise, we would not have been doing what we have been doing for so many years. So for us, it's about adding more value to people's lives, which accumulates over a period of time. And it's not an event that we try to achieve. So it's very important that the generations that are growing up in our country, and this is not sounding philosophical at any cost, I think we have the most entertaining stories in the world. We consider it to be old and this and that, but these stories have human values. Every character in Indian history is conflicted. Every character has a personal graph. They learn, they evolve, they get to the best of themselves. And that's exactly what the youth also wants today. It's not like, people are finding it boring. It's about how you present it in the times that you are. Language used to be Brahmi, Pali, Sanskrit, all of it then. Today it's Hindi, it could be regional, it could be English, it could be in any language, as long as the emotion is right. So I think for everybody, even for you as a maker of what you are doing, I think if you stick to the purpose that you have behind what you're doing and leave the stories to storytellers, life will be better.
Right. Okay. I think we're slightly out of time now, and yeah, thanks for that thought-provoking question over there. Thank you, gentlemen, for this wonderful session and sharing your thoughts on how brands can be culture makers and the different types of business models that you have and how you're integrating and building for the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. You never felt like a substitute guy. You felt like the main guy.
Thank you.